Coming to you on another AMC video. This video is going to be going over on the Evergrande situation, on how, what, and I think it's going to happen on to AMC and the effects of this Evergrande process. Well, before I forget, I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. And definitely, if you like it, definitely subscribe and click the thumbs up. It helps out moving this message to other investors as well. So let's start here. On Twitter, there's this doctor. He's basically, it's official. Now the mass media has understand it's too. Basically, Evergrande is defaulting as well. The bonds are going to fail as well. So it sounds like this doctor, he invested into Evergrande too. His company has, and he's going after them, and he's trying to get his money back. But he's pretty much now talking about how this market's going to crash because of the whole Evergrande situation. And I'll link all these documents and what he has said. I always link all my information on the bottom, talking and where I'm getting the information to. So he's basically acknowledging the market is really in a bad situation. We are going to see Evergrande default, and it has defaulted already, and it defaulted a couple months ago. Now, am I going to see Evergrande, the whole market being shaky on this whole thing because we're going to, I don't see Evergrande, the market being very shaky, I would say, until probably next year. That's my opinion. And I don't see, I see us building up this momentum, and we're going to hear this, we're clear, we're good, we are not having any problems. But what's going to happen is we are going to have it's going to build up this momentum, and then it's going to go boom, crash. Sort of like what it has been doing right now. So this is another article he has talked about, and he's basically talking about AMC and GameStop. I haven't really talked about GameStop, but that is another one too. And he is basically mentioning and going over how it is in detail that AMC Evergrande the bonds of Evergrande were getting used as collateral onto shorting the market. Well, I have to say this is like, it didn't make sense to me in the first place, because we have to go back and remember that they had a different ruling onto this, and they made a ruling that was saying, hey, you know what, you need to you need to have a bond, like an A-class bond, to basically use it as collateral. But that was here in America. Now what he's basically saying is, the Citadel was using that over in China. He was basically borrowing the money and using those bonds as collateral over in China. That totally makes sense. It's basically like different banks. You're going to the bank, for instance, you go to a bank here in America, you're buying a mortgage, and you have to go through a US bank. Well, if you go to a bank over in China and you're going to get a mortgage, well, their processes are totally different. And that is a totally messed up situation over in China right now. And I have been reading and investigating and looking into all this stuff very long time, and it's really interesting because the Chinese market, the banking system is, they don't have this credit system as here in America. The credit system here in America will keep tracking, and they have titles onto who owns what. So if you basically go to a bank and anywhere in the United States and you want to get a mortgage or a second mortgage, they already know you already have a mortgage through blah 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 ABC Bank. And well, it makes the mortgages stronger. Now China doesn't have that system, that proper way they're trying to get that, but what they're doing is basically they'll have 7 different mortgages onto one house, and apartments, more likely apartments. And what they're doing is the apartments are not having a solid, there are 7 mortgages on it, and if this falls, the Chinese economy is going to crumble hardcore, and it's basically crumbling right now in our eyes, and we have not really seen the whole crumble, and that is where we're going to see. This is just like the 2008. The pricing right now, the house markets in America are very, very high as well. So we are going to see this crumble, and when the crumble starts happening, what I'm predicting and what I'm seeing is that collateral they were using to borrow to basically short AMC and GameStop. This is what this doctor's basically saying. They'll have to pay it back. They'll have to get money to pay it back, or they're going to sell their assets onto other things. Like that would be Apple and those things. Wow, that is another story right there. We're going to see this big impact onto the market, and that this needs to be a gamma squeeze. You can already see he's like talking about this, and but keep in mind, VW, and this is my previous video. If you didn't see my previous video, go back and watch my previous video. And if you want to go back into my technical video, that was yesterday's video. So I was saying VW had 10% shorted. Now we are at 18%, and we're going to go up to probably 19% or 20%, and it's going to keep on building up. The thing we have to keep in mind is one starts crumbling. If Citadel starts having to pay back some of the shorts, what they will have to do is the other ones will start crumbling as well. So I'm going to keep all these links in the bottom. You guys can read it, definitely get the information. I'm not much of a reader, so that's the reason why I don't read all this stuff. I'm just going over and explaining it, what I'm understanding and digesting in the back of my mind. So it is very disturbing on this whole market. Now, keep in mind, this guy, he has been into the market. You can see at $1.2 billion, he has a portfolio onto the market. So he is very well aware of how the market's moving. But we don't really know if he's on our side or not, if he's really just saying this to buffalo the people and just saying, yeah, just to keep you leading on to it. I'm just being very blunt and going over everything. So that said, definitely subscribe and thumbs up and peace out, everybody.